Hello everyone. In this lecture, we are going to discuss very briefly the concepts of correlations. This video is for all those who know what correlation is, but nevertheless, we will do a brief recap of the concepts of correlation and then we'll see how we can do the correlation analysis on Excel. So correlation is basically when we are interested in finding out the relationship between two variables and we want to see if there is any sort of association between the variables or not. In this correlation, in this analysis, what we are interested in is not in finding out whether there is a cause and effect relationship. Rather than that, we are interested in finding out whether there is a relationship and what kind of relationship is that. So this is measured with something called as a correlation coefficient, and the most popular correlation coefficient is what we call as Pearson product moment correlation. When we are talking of Pearson product moment correlation, we are talking of numeric data. So the data has to be in numeric form. And correlation can be found out between multiple variables, but it is always done in pairs. So if we have 3 variables, 4 variables, 5 variables, 6 variables, we can do this exercise in Excel and other softwares, but the relationship will always be given in the form of pairs, because that is the reason why it's called as correlation. So let's assume that we have variable A, B and C. So the relationship that would be given, the output that would be given would be the relationship between A and B, A and C and B and C. Similarly, it could be for n number of variables. So the idea is to find out whether the variables are related. What happens if one variable increases? Is there a resultant increase in the other variable, or is there a decrease in the other variable, or there is no effect on the other variable? For example, skills and income. So if your skill level increases, does it lead to an increase in income, or does it lead to a decrease in the income, or there is no impact? This is all measured through the correlation coefficient. So we try to get a numerical measure of the degree of relationship. This degree always ranges from -1 to +1. -1 denotes perfect negative correlation, +1 denotes perfect positive correlation, and 0 denotes no correlation. So this is an example. Let's assume that x and y are two variables. X could be skills and y could be income. So we have the data, as you can see from this particular slide. So the data is visible. So we see that by looking at the data itself, we see that the x is increasing 10, 12, 15, 18, 20. Similarly, we can see that y is also increasing. So when we run an analysis, when we eyeball the data, when we visually analyze the data, it tells us that there is an increasing trend in both. So there is always a likelihood that the correlation coefficient would come out to be positive. And when we say positive, between 0 and +1. If you look at the next example, this is an example of a negative correlation. In this, you can see as one variable x decreases, y increases. So that means there is an inverse relationship, and the likelihood is that the correlation coefficient would turn out to be between 0 and -1. So this is called as a negative correlation. We sometimes also have something what we call as a zero correlation. So in a zero correlation, what does this mean? But that means there is no relationship amongst the variable. And if we were to depict it with the help of a line, a positive correlation, if you look at price and quantity, for example, the variables are price and quantity, we'll see the positive correlation. There will be 45 degree or something, the degree will depend, but the line would be going up. Whereas if we were to graph the negative correlation, the line would be going down. And if you were to graph the zero correlation, there would be no correlation amongst the points. As you can see, the line, this is your, the regression line, or whichever we want to call it. But if you look at this, all the points are apart. So this is, in a nutshell, this is correlation. Now the coefficient of correlation, always remember, it is usually denoted by R, and we call this as the Pearson product moment correlation, and it usually lies between +1 to -1 with 0 in between. +1 perfect positive correlation, -1 negative correlation. So these things are all listed here. If you look at this, so this is the continuum, -1 to +1. So -1 is also very strong, +1 is also very strong, but -1 is basically negative, high negative correlation, +1 is high positive correlation, and 0 is actually no correlation at all amongst the variables. So let's look at this. Let's take this example. The example is in order to measure the degree of correlation between two attributes. So the number of hours studied and the exam score. We want to see if there is any sort of correlation amongst these two variables. So the data is for hours of study is given on this side and the exam score is given on this side, and we will run a correlation analysis to compute the correlation coefficient. Now, how is this done in Excel? So we are more interested in doing it on Excel, and in Excel we all know that there are two options. One is the Excel function, that is you select the Excel function. The other is the Excel data analysis tool pack. So we can use both these options. Now the data in Excel, the advantage in Excel is that you can have the data in a column format. That is, hours of study is one variable and the data is in column format. Exam score is again in column format. If you look at this, in this case the data is in row format. X is X variable, this could be anything, this could be skills and this could be your income or whatever you would want to give it a name. We are calling it X and Y. So the values of X are given here and the values of the other variable is given like this. So the data is in a row format. Both of these can be done on Excel. So there is another thing which is called as coefficient of variation. Now the coefficient of variation we will discuss while we are doing this particular exercise on Excel. Coefficient of variation is a very simple concept and it is very popular, especially with the people who are working in stocks, people who are working in physics, people who are working in chemistry, in engineering. There the coefficient of variation is a very popular and common measure that is used. It's also a measure of dispersion, and the formula is very simple. You divide the standard deviation by the mean and multiply it by 100. So when you multiply it by 100, you get a coefficient, and this has nothing to do with this coefficient of variation has nothing to do with your correlation. But coefficient of variation is something, it is from the family of, when we are talking of measures of dispersion. So it is after we have range, interquartile range, we have what we call as standard deviation, we have variance, and we have coefficient of variation. Why have I listed it here? I have listed it here for one simple reason, that many people, when they are actually comparing stocks, they talk of coefficient of variation. So that is why I have included it here. Otherwise it comes with it is in the family of dispersion. So it is a measure of dispersion. Now as you can see, in terms of coefficient of variation, it's very simple to calculate. You just, for one variable, you will compute the standard deviation and you will divide it by the mean and you multiply it by 100, you get the coefficient of variation in percentage. Otherwise you will get it in fraction. And you can use two coefficient of variation between two variables to make a comparison amongst them. The idea here is that when you are talking of coefficient of variation, it actually cancels out the unit. So in a standard deviation and in variance, we have units. So let's look at this example. We have sample 1 and we have a sample 2, or variable 1, variable 2. And the mean of this is given as 75, the mean of this is given as 160. Now when we are talking of standard deviation, the standard deviation is 10 for sample 1, but it is in centimeters. Okay, so this is about height, and the standard deviation of sample 2 is in 12. So what do we conclude by standard deviation? That's the first thing. So we need to go back to our previous examples and our understanding of standard deviation. Standard deviation is the absolute deviation around the mean, and we talk in terms of the spread of the data around the mean. Here we are talking of a coefficient of variation where we are dividing the standard deviation by the mean itself. So when we do this, this actually turns out to be a unitless number. So this unitless number helps us make a cross sample comparison. So here the variation is more as compared to this second sample. While we look at the standard deviation of sample 1 is lesser as compared to sample 2. So sometimes we might end up making uh, the wrong conclusion, or we might end up drawing the wrong conclusion when we look at only the standard deviations. But again, let me tell you, coefficient of variation is popular only in few disciplines. So in social sciences and business management, we rarely use the coefficient of variation. We actually always use a standard deviation. Whereas sometimes in finance, especially when we are talking of stocks, we tend to use the concept of coefficient and variation, and that is why I have introduced it here. So what we'll do now, we will go ahead and we will have a look at how to do this on Excel using both the Excel function and data analysis toolpack. So let us look at this example. So we are going to do a simple correlation exercise. So let us look at this example. Now the data here is available in the form of columns. We have two stocks and we have to find out the correlation between these two stocks. So there are two ways to do it. We will also try to find out the coefficient of variation. So in order to actually compute the correlation, we can use the function, and we'll just use a reference cell, and we'll write equal to, and then we will write correlation double R, and you can see the first option that comes is CORR, but we are not interested in that. That's something else. We are interested in correlation. So the correlation is here, CORREL. This is correlation, returns the correlation coefficient between two data sets. So I'll click on this and it asks me, where is my data? So I'll have to input the data for the first variable, which is as array1. So I'll select the data. I'll not select the header because there is no option of selecting the header, comma, array2. So this is my array2, and I'll just close the brackets and hit the button enter. As soon as I hit the button, I get a correlation coefficient R. So this is my R, small r, okay. So this is my small r, and this is equal to 0.646. Now I'll just reduce this to 1 decimal places. The correlation is very weak between stock A and stock B. What do we conclude from here? That the movement of stock A and the movement of stock B, as such, there is no relationship. We can't say that when stock A goes up or the stock A prices rise, stock B prices also rise. We cannot say that. The correlation is very weak. Okay. Now, if we want to calculate the coefficient of variation, so what are the things that we need to calculate? We need to calculate the mean for both. So we will just write the mean, and mean for the first data set, we'll hit the button equal to, and we'll write average. So we can just write the average, and we'll select this, enter. This is the average mean for the first one, and for the mean for the mean for the second stock, we can simply do it like this, and we'll hit the button enter. So the mean is 4. Now we have to calculate the standard deviation also. So standard deviation for the first stock is simply nothing but STDV. So we will use STDEV. So we have the standard deviation. We'll click the standard deviation, the stock 1. Enter. We get the standard deviation. Stock 2, we will use this equal to STDEV. So we are going to use the standard deviation, and we'll choose this particular stock and hit the button enter. We get both the stocks. Now we want to find the coefficient of variation, CV, for the first stock. CV is, what is the formula? Standard deviation. That is, it's very simple, standard deviation divided by mean, which is your this. And you want to, if you want it in percentage, you can multiply it by percentage. Otherwise you can just simply you can in this formula you can have a bracket, and that bracket goes like this. So you can have a bracket, you close the bracket, star 100. So you will get the percentage. So it is actually, the coefficient of variation is 38%. Okay, so that is I don't 38% approximately. Similarly, the coefficient of variation for this is going to be bracket, we'll have the standard deviation divided by the mean, and we'll close the bracket, multiply it by 100, and we hit the button enter. So the coefficient of variation in this case is 58%. That means the coefficient of variation is much more. So this stock is riskier as compared to this stock. So wherever the variation is more, that stock is riskier. That means that stock is more volatile. So we'll just highlight this. This is riskier. Stock B is riskier as compared to stock A. So this is where when we use a coefficient of variation, especially in the context of stocks. Now, in the next example, you can see you have again stocks of Infosys and stocks for TCS. It could be anything. It could be advertising and sales. It could be skills and incomes. It could be cigarette smoking and lung cancer. The relationship could be amongst two different variables. Okay, and the data is, as you can see, it is in the form of rows, not in the form of columns. So you have Infosys here, and then you have the data which is like this. Similarly, so here in this example, we can use both. Again, we can use the correlation, that's not a problem. So we can either use the equal to command, and we write CORR, and we can go down to correlation, and we have to, array 1. So we can select array 1 like this, and we can select array 2 like this. It will give us the correlation coefficient. So that is not a problem, irrespective of whether the data is in rows or columns. So I'll hit the button enter, and I get a correlation coefficient here between them. If I were to use the data analysis toolkit, I'll go to data, and I'll go to data analysis, and I'll go to this correlation, which we have already been. Now I have to input the range. So that means I just select the two variables, and one of the things that I need to do is I have to tell the software that column is selected here, but I have to tell the software that the data is in rows, because it is in rows, it is not in columns. Okay, and I have to, if I have taken the labels, I would have to specify the labels, but I have not taken the labels. So what I will do is, or rather I can take it and I can go back and I can actually reselect the data. It is always a good idea to take the labels. So I have taken the labels, the output range is this, so I'll take the output range and I'll hit the button OK. So I'll get the same thing, but now I've got a matrix, and the matrix, the best part about the matrix is that when you have multiple correlations among different pairs, you get it in a matrix form. And when you get it in a matrix form, which table do you have to, or which cell do you have to actually refer to? So the cell that we have to refer to is this one. I just, why? Because Infosys and TCS, this is the intersection cell. So this is the cell, the values are the same. Now I have to find the coefficient of variation. So how do I find the coefficient of variation? I do the same thing. I calculate the mean, I calculate the standard deviation. Or the other thing that I could easily do is actually I could go to data, I could go to data analysis, I could go to data analysis tool pack. Okay, so I will go to data analysis, and I'll go to descriptive statistics to get the mean and standard deviation. So I'll do the input range. If the data is not too big, we can actually do it very quickly. Labels in the first row, data is grouped by columns. Output range is I want the output to come somewhere here. Okay, and I want the summary statistics. Okay, so I hit the button OK, and I get all the the summary statistics for Infosys and TCS. So if I want the CV for Infosys, so what is my formula? My formula is equal to, and this is standard deviation divided by the mean, and my mean is this, so I will divide it by this. So this is my coefficient of variation for this. And if I want the coefficient of variation for TCS, this is equal to the standard deviation divided by the mean. So I'll divide it by the mean, and I get the coefficient. Now these are, both of these are in the form of fractions, so I can multiply them by 100 and I can get the percentage. So by merely looking at these two, the coefficient of variation for uh, your Infosys and for TCS, I'll just, okay, this is, I'll make it rather than two decimal places, and I'll reduce this to 2 decimal places. So you can see the coefficient of variation of Infosys is lesser as compared to the coefficient of variation for TCS, although there is a very small difference. So what does it tell us? It tells us that TCS is more risky as compared to Infosys when I'm going to make a comparison between the two. So that is how you calculate the correlation coefficient. In this case, how do we interpret the correlation coefficient? Interpretation remains the same. It is 0.32. That means there is some correlation and it is positive, but it's not very strong, because 0.5 is said to be moderate correlation. So we are between 0.5, 0 and zero point 0.5. So there is correlation, but the correlation is not very strong. It is sort of weak correlation. Okay, so this is for it today. Thank you.